Hello, Koksang. Are you ready for the first question? Koksang, if you are, please go ahead. If you have any question. Can you unmute?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good evening, Ajahn. I have a question today. And that is, I was observing my feelings, and I observed that the last few days, my feeling was feeling kind of the last few days there are news reporting about the increase in the community cases in Singapore. So that has, in a way, dampened my mood. And at the same time, I was also actions take place, and I have visited the same place. So that is also another cause of so-called causing some unease. Yeah, so just want to get some advice from Ajahn. How do we so-called practice equanimity in such a situation?
Just because you don't have mindfulness. See, instead of
Mm,
reciting Bhutto,
mm,
Bhutto, you kept thinking about various things. And when
mm,
you think about the bad thing, they can create you bad feelings.
mm,
So this is the lack of mindfulness. If you keep training yourself in mindfulness all the time, then your mind can become non-reactive to whatever come into contact with the mind. So you let your mind go on its own way, reacting to whatever comes into contact with it. So naturally, it's supervised by your delusion, by your defilements. So your defilement will then react either positively or negatively, depending on what the objects that you are in contact with. If they're the objects you like, then you react with good feelings. If the objects you into contact with is not something you like, then you act with bad feelings. But if you always try to take control of your mind with mindfulness, like reciting mantra, or keep watching what your body is doing all the time, then it's not, you will not react with good or bad feeling. It will just be merely knowing. So this is the cause of your bad and good feelings due to your lack of mindfulness to keep the mind from reacting to all the various objects that come into contact with the mind. If you advance in your practice of mindfulness, you'll find that your mind becomes less reactive to things, and you will just be merely knowing. If you're reacting emotionally, it means you're not mindful. You're not taking control of your mind. You let your mind, let the defilement take control of your mind. So try to practice mindfulness all the time. Then you will be able to stop your mind from reacting, from creating good or bad feelings. This is the first level. Once you have established strong mindfulness, you can then apply wisdom, teach the mind to see things as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Then it will stop reacting permanently because you know whatever it wants from things, these things eventually will cause dukkha to the mind. So the mind will keep away, stay away from these things, not wanting to have anything. But that's the next level. The first level, you want to train your mind to not thinking, not reacting to things, just accepting things as they come. Just know them for what they are. When you feel you are emotionally involved, then you just keep reciting mantra, and then your reaction will stop and be merely knowing. Is that clear enough?
Okay, yeah, I think that's enough. Yeah, thank you, Ajahn.
Okay.
Okay.
Next is Professor Kenneth from Switzerland. Hi, thank you for your donation, generous donation. It will be good for the poor children who need education, needs to go to school and colleges.
Thank you, Ajahn, for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
do you have any questions today?
Yes, I would like to ask when reciting the Buddha, whether it's during sitting or just while going around, I find that thoughts are coming, and sometimes it can get that the thoughts are actually in the foreground and the Buddha is going more in the background. And Tanajan recently mentioned something about we need to get close to the Buddha. And I would like to ask your advice on how we do that in a good way.
Just be intimate with Buddha and try to stay away from the thoughts. I mean, the thought can be coming, but don't try to talk with your thoughts. Come back to your Buddha, as if you are dancing with Buddha and someone else wants to come in and dance with you. You say, no, I want to keep on dancing with Buddha.
Okay.
So you just have to ignore the thought that try to interfere with your Buddha. So it might be a little bit difficult at first because your concentration might not be strong enough, and you might be pulled away by your thoughts. But if you are conscious, you have to be conscious, whether you are talking to your thoughts or you are talking to your Buddha, you're reciting Buddha. If you're reciting Buddha and your thoughts try to compete, just try to ignore the thoughts. Like when you're singing in a choir, you might have people singing different tone. You stay with your tone. You let other people sing their tone, and you just sing your tone.
Okay.
So you just try to stick with Buddha, and try to disregard the thought that coming in. If you give attention to the thoughts, then you are leaving Buddha. So this is how you have to be intimate with Buddha. Just stick with Buddha and knowing the thought coming in, but don't try to respond to the thoughts. Leave the thoughts alone.
Okay.
Or if you're doing something, force your mind to watch what you're doing, concentrate on what you're doing. If you're eating, just keep eating and don't let your thoughts come interfere with your eating. Maybe you cannot use Buddha alone. Maybe you can use Buddha along with watching what you're doing at the same time. And then maybe this will push the thoughts in the background.
Okay.
But you cannot avoid the thoughts because they've been overwhelming. They've been over your mind all the time.
Mm.
So when you're starting, you are fighting a very strong opponent that will keep on coming at you all the time. But don't be discouraged or don't be mad at them. Just accept that this is their defenses. They want to control the mind, and we want to take over the mind with Buddha. So we just have to be persistent with our Buddha. it's like a tug of war between two sides. Whoever gives up, then the other side wins. If you give up Bhutto, then your side will then be dominant in your mind. But if you keep reciting Bhutto, Bhutto, then your side cannot be dominant, cannot take over the mind. Even though maybe Bhutto cannot yet take over the mind, but at least it's resisting, it's fighting against your thoughts. And sooner or later, one day, your thought will stop. Then you'll find all you have left is Bhutto. And you have a sense of peace and easiness. No more struggle, no more struggling between your thoughts. This is the result when your mind becomes under the control of mindfulness. Then the mind will be steady, calm, and at ease. So this is something you will have to try to do to get to this point. Once you get to this point, you will appreciate it. You appreciate the effort that you put in, and it will give you the encouragement to be more mindful and see the benefits of being mindful. It can bring your mind ease of mind, peace of mind, and happiness. Even when you haven't yet meditated, and if you meditate, you'll find that the mind becomes more quiet, more still, and more happy. But you first need to get this mindfulness going in your mind. All right?
Thank you very much, Ajahn.
Okay. If you have any question, maybe you can wait for the second round. Okay?
Thank you.
Go, because this will give everybody a chance to ask. Emily, you're next from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn. I don't have any question tonight.
You don't have, okay.
Yeah.
We'll go to Siddhartha from Indonesia, I believe. Are you the same Siddhartha who was staying with us?
Yes, Ajahn. I'm the same Siddhartha.
Okay, I see. I don't recognize you. Your hair grow longer now.
Yeah, it
You have
hasn't
any?
been.
You doing okay?
Yes. I'm still practicing right now.
You still plan to ordain as a monk?
Yes, Ajahn. So I've been exploring in Indonesia, but I have concluded through my search, I haven't found the correct environment here in Indonesia. So probably I will continue my ordination back in Thailand.
After you can come into the country, after
Yes.
after everything back to normal.
Yes, that's the plan.
And your sister also plan to come back?
I don't know, but it seems like she will try to find a place here, which currently both of us are staying right now in Bali, and it doesn't seem that she has planned to return to Thailand anytime soon.
Okay, and how's your practice?
So currently I'm back to mindfulness practice. So I have tried contemplation, like sitting for long hours, and I have managed to find some successes on that. After sitting about 11 hours or so, I can see the mind can separate itself from feelings, but I cannot repeat it. After a few months later, the painful feeling starts coming back again, and I figured it out. Probably my mindfulness is not strong enough, and I'm start building it up again, and probably will take the exam more on painful feelings before progressing to other problems.
Okay, you should, when you do this thing, you should forget about the past, what you have achieved, and don't have any desire for achieving it again. Just do your work in the present, do your mindfulness in order to separate your your mind from the body and from the pain. Either mindfulness or using contemplation, studying the nature of the pain as being anicca, dukkha, anatta. Any question today?
No, Ajahn. Thank you.
Okay. Let me go to Claudia Schweiner from Germany. Any question from you, Claudia?
Good afternoon from Germany. I'm very glad to see you. And yes, I have a question.
You have to speak louder. Your voice kind of soft.
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, better.
Okay. Yes, I have a question for my translation of your book. In Germany, we have, or in the German language, we have two different meanings of the word you. So we can translate you for only one person. So like when I talk to Jack, I say you, but I also can mean the word, or the word you can also mean more persons. And my question is, when I translate your book, do I use the word you just for one person or for all the people who read the book?
It really, we have no indication really as to what this you mean. It just mean anybody, I guess. One person or everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
We just mean you. I think probably you sometimes refers to yourself when you say you actually are talking about yourself. You have to do this, and you have to do that. You have to be mindful. And in English, it can mean you're talking about yourself.
Yeah, because to me it's very important that I translate everything correctly, and so I rather ask before I do something wrong.
Yes, I don't know how to give you the answer because you don't have any specific. If you ask me generally, it can mean anyone, you, me, or anybody. Just take it that way. Just look at the context, and then decide for yourself, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So that's all for today.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
How many translations have you done so far?
I translated one book already for my community, for the Wat Thai Nuremberg. And this book was printed about 5 years ago or 6 years ago. And currently I'm translating this book.
Okay. Dhamma for the asking.
Yes.
Volume 1 or 2.
And so currently I completed chapter 2, so I will start with chapter 3 now.
Okay. And you publish it in your Facebook page?
I'm going to send it to the address you told me. It's the address of your
in the website assistant.
Yes.
And they can be posted in the web page.
Yeah. And Kenneth also offered to read some translations I'm not completely sure about, so I will also take his offer when I have some special questions. Yes.
Okay, so maybe he can help check your translation.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the work.
Thank you. I thank you for your teachings.
Next, Fai Lim from Malaysia.
Good day to you, Ajahn.
Any question today?
Yes, I have practical questions today in regards to observing the 8 precepts at home. So aside from practicing meditation, does exercising workout is allowed when we are observing the 8 precepts? The reason I'm asking because as I can see, sometimes it can be considered, and I'm rather not sure whether it can be considered as a form of enjoyment or some kind of entertainment.
It depends on what your purpose in exercising is.
If it's for the healthy reason,
yeah, then
and
it's
to-
okay. It's medical. Consider
yeah.
okay.
because there's worry that it will break the last 3 precepts of the 8, because the number 6 say that it could encourage eating after the noon time, or it can be considered as entertainment as well, or maybe in the form of purifying the body. But it's rather it is not, because it's more like for the healthy reason, especially staying at home for long hours. So sometimes just a bit of workout, just to make sure that it does not break the 8 precepts.
Yes, if it's for medicine reason, medical reason, then it's okay. But if it's for pleasure, then it's not good.
All right. Thank you, Ajahn. Yeah, I noted on that.
Okay. Next, Philip Lim and Adeline from Malaysia.
Good evening, Ajahn.
Good evening, Ajahn. We don't have
we don't have question. No question. Okay. And then we go to Get Yenso from Penang. No question.
No question. I just want to say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu to Claudia for helping the translation. It's good job. Yeah.
All right. Next, Forrest Tom from Boston.
Hey, Tanajan. I'm very glad to hear your teachings today, especially the advice to Professor Kenneth. It's very helpful for me. I have one question today. I've started watching some videos of autopsies because I have trouble doing asuba, and I think it's helping me to visualize the organs better. So I'm wondering, at what time should I be contemplating these organs? Is it, I do it right now whenever I see someone on the street, I try to visualize it, but should I also do it at other times when I'm not in contact with people?
Yes, as much as possible, except when you meditate for jhana, then you don't. If you have to use just one object if you want to go into concentration, into jhana, but not all the objects. I'm not sure. Maybe it can get you into jhana with all the super contemplation, but I think you need to be still. Your mind needs to be still, so you might need to just focus on one object, one organ, like such as the skeleton or something. If you want to enter to jhana, but if you want to have this right view of the body, then you can try to look at the whole body, all the organs inside your body, like an X-ray machine. That's what you want to do, because the skin that covers the body prevents you from seeing what's under the skin. So you need to use contemplation or memory from what you have seen, from other visual, and then try to imagine it in your mind. You want to do as much as possible until it stays in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you can do it, the better. Except if it gets to the point where you become repulsed by what you see and you have bad feelings, then you should stop. It means you need to calm your mind first. If your mind can watch all the parts of the body and remain calm, having equanimity, not reacting to it either positively or negatively, then you can keep on doing it. Because sometimes if you do too much of it, you can get sick of your body or other people's body. And you might want to mistreat them. That's not what you want to do. You just want to study the nature of the body, to see the true picture of the body, what it really is like. Besides from what you see outside. You want to look under the skin also. So you get a balanced view of the body, so that you can get rid of your attraction toward other people's body. And also your obsession with your own body. Sometimes some people are obsessed with their look, the body, how their body looks. So they might spend a lot of time trying to beautify their own body. If you have this super contemplation, then you see that you cannot erase the bad looking part of the body. No matter how you want to beautify the external part of your body, but deep inside inside your body there's nothing good looking at all. So you just leave the body alone, not being obsessed with its appearance. You should get something on your face, like then you just accept it. This is not as bad as what you have under your skin anyway. Right? Yes. So to summarize, if you can contemplate the body, the asubha, as much as possible. It's good, but just try to make sure that you don't have this bad reaction toward this contemplation.
Okay. Yeah. So even during walking meditation and during chores, it's all fine to do asubha.
Yes, but you also have to concentrate on what you do.
Oh yeah. Okay.
What you do has to come first. Contemplation should be more when you're not doing anything else.
Okay. See.
Except walking, running, or then you're not doing any other thing. Then you can contemplate or look at the body that is running or walking as being composed of the 32 parts.
Okay.
The goal is to have it embed in your mind, so that anytime you look at anybody's body, you can see the rest of the body parts.
Uh-huh. So it should be instantaneous.
Yes. Yes. Especially when you start to see good-looking body, and you forget about the other parts of the body, then you should bring it up.
Okay.
The goal is to get rid of your attraction toward other people's body or your own body. No attraction, no love. We tend to love someone because of their appearance, right? But as you know, if you see the asubha of their appearance, then you say your love for that person will definitely not be about the body anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But you can still love that person for being kind, being nice, for instance, but not the sexual type of love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes I have desire for bodies and sometimes I have desire for food. So for contemplating food, what kind of visualization would help with reducing that desire?
The picture of food in your mouth when you chew and mix with your saliva, try to spit it out and see if you can put it back into your mouth again.
Okay.
Or the vomit that you threw up, or the feces that you excreted from your body. They are all food in different various stages. So if you look at the stages of food, then you can stop your desire, your craving for food. But you have to be careful though, not to overdo it to the point where you can no longer eat any food.
Right. Yeah.
When you have to, you still have to eat, see. But
Yeah.
you just don't want to overeat or eat out of cravings. You eat like taking medicine.
Yeah.
Food is like medicine. Take it like you take medicine. Don't have any enjoyment. Don't try to get enjoyment from it, for pleasure from it. Just eat it just for the sake of maintenance the body. Anytime you have this craving for pleasure or joy, enjoyment, then you should use this contemplation to stop it. Don't think of the food in the plate. Like especially when you do fasting. Fasting is a good time for you to do this loathsomeness of food, because when you fast, your mind will think of food in the plate, right? And it will make you become more hungry. So when you start to contemplate about the food, the other stages of food in the body, then your craving for food will disappear. And you can continue on fasting. Or for people who take the 8 precepts, after midday in the evening, they might start to think about food and get hungry from thinking about it. Then they should think about the food in the mouth, or the food in the stomach, or the food in the toilet bowl. All right.
That's very clear. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Let me go to Belinda from Singapore. So, have any question today?
No question, Ajahn.
No question. Okay. Are you enjoying listening to our talk?
Yes.
Okay. It's not too extreme, talking about supa and talking about this loathsomeness of food. You can accept it, yeah? All right?
I don't think I dare to try at this moment.
Or if you want to eat something so bad, why don't you mix everything up in a bowl?
That I have tried.
Yeah, put everything that you're gonna put in your stomach and mix it up in your bowl.
That one I have tried before.
With the dessert and the coffee and everything, put it.
Coffee.
Cakes and whatever, mix it with your other food. Because they're all gonna go mix up in your stomach anyway, right? Later on. So let's mix up in the bowl before you take it in your body. This is the way to stop your defilements from thinking about food. You know. Every time it eats, if you force it to eat like this, then it won't think about special type of food. Because it knows that you are going to mix it all up to be one type of food anyway. Complete meal. Put everything, dessert, drinks, put it all in the same bowl or plate and then eat it. Just a few times, just to stop your cravings. And every time you crave, then you think about mixing up the food, then your craving can go disappear. And once you have no craving for food, then you can eat back normally. You don't have to mix them up. This is just to get rid of your cravings for food. Okay. Cravings and enjoyment of food. When you eat food, you want the food to be separated, right? So you enjoy it that way. But when you mix everything up, then you take away the pleasure, you take away the enjoyment, and you make it like a medicine.
Okay.
Okay. No question today, huh?
So far, no.
Okay.
Okay,
let me go to Sri and check. And when from Vancouver. Good evening or good morning to you.
Good evening, Ajahn.
Good evening, Ajahn. Morning to us.
Any question from you?
Yeah, same as Forrest's comment. I really like that teaching you give to Professor Ken. It's really helpful, Ajahn. And also the other day on Q&A, somebody asked you about Nesachek.
Nesachik,
Nesachik, sorry.
Nesachika. In Pali, Nesachika.
Nesachika, okay.
This is one of the 13 Dhutanga practices.
I was going to ask you if it's a Dhutanga. Okay.
Yes, that is Dhutanga. That's one of the Dhutanga practices.
So meaning they don't sleep, they don't lie down and sleep, right? I don't like
to force the mind to continue on practicing as much as possible. No breaks, like no lunch break, no breakfast break. No, this is like taking no break and working.
And
no sleeping. See?
No sleeping. Oh.
Yeah, but it's comparable to like when you work. If you want to get as much work as done, then you don't have any lunch break or coffee break. You just keep on working from 8 to 5.
So Ajahn, not even like when you sit down, you not even sleep. Like you really like don't no. Like,
well, you can fall asleep, but not in the lying position.
Oh.
That's what it means. You probably might fall asleep when you sit, because when the body gets really sleepy, eventually you're gonna fall asleep. But sleeping in a sitting position won't make you sleep too much. You might sleep for an hour, and then your neck might get a little bit ache on your neck. Then you have to you get up, and once you're awake, then you continue on with your meditation, with your mindfulness practice. But if you lie down, you can lose 5 or 6 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Depending on sleeping, so you won't have time to practice. So that's the purpose of this kind of observance, to provide you with more time to practice. That's the purpose. But if it doesn't suit your character, you cannot really do it, then you just have to find some other method. The method of fasting can also stimulate your practice. Because when you're hungry, you have to be mindful and be contemplating to stop your hunger. To stop your craving, you don't stop your body hunger from your body, but you can stop the hunger from your mind by making it calm. All right, no question yet today.
So Ajahn, I have a questions like when they are doing this kind of practice, and then when they meditate and then they go into sleep, is there a trance state?
Just sleep. It's just sleep. No mindfulness. Instead of lying down sleeping, you just sitting there, like you sleep on the bus or when you work. Sometimes you're working and then you just doze off, because you just got so sleepy. That's all.
Okay.
It's
and then
no trance, nothing.
Not trance. How to differentiate like the trance and the meditation when people sit? Like how
trance is like when you don't have mindfulness, or your mindfulness is not strong, and you let the mind wander to whatever it wants to do. Then it falls into a trance. Not completely sleep, but half sleep and half awake.
But no mindfulness.
Some mindfulness maybe, but not enough to control your mind's action. So the mind can be creating all sorts of things during that time.
Okay.
Or acting. Some people go into a trance and they act weird, right? Jumping up and down, or do something that they don't normally do. That's when they are in a trance.
So what is controlling them, eh? Like the mind, the avijja, or?
Yeah, it's Usually avijjala pachaya sankhara. Sankhara are thoughts or action of the mind.
Oh, okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Thank you.
Then we go to Karina May. Karina, is this your first time or I haven't seen you in a while? Please unmute the microphone.
Hi, Ajahn. How are you doing? Not the first time, but I have been stopping to join the Zoom for quite a while.
Where are you from? Singapore?
From Singapore.
Okay.
Do
you have any question?
I do not have any question, Ajahn. Thank you.
Okay. All right then. Then let me go to Gary, also from Singapore.
Good evening, Ajahn.
Any question from you today?
Ajahn, I have a question regarding practicing in the cemetery. Does it help people who are like lack of mindfulness? Is it good for him to practice in the cemetery?
No, I think you need to have enough mindfulness to be able to control your fear. If you don't have enough mindfulness when you go there, you won't be able to stay there because your fear will drive you crazy.
Right.
So you would have to have a certain amount of mindfulness to be able to stop your fear.
Okay.
But you want to go there because sometimes you get sleepy when you meditate elsewhere, where there are nothing to instigate fear in your mind.
Yes.
But when you go to a cemetery or into a deep forest, then your surrounding can instigate some fear in your mind, which will force you to become alert.
Okay.
But you have to have a certain amount of mindfulness to stop your fear, because if you don't, then your fear will take over your mind and it will force you to go back to safety, to look for a safer environment.
I see.
So it's basically for people who have some samadhi already, maybe, and they find that they are bothered by their sleepiness.
All right. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. You want to try?
I've tried, but I'm not so fearful about ghosts and all that. So I think I prayed for about 2 to 3 times already. Yeah.
Besides a place instigating fear, it also provides you a place with quiet, because nobody go to the cemetery.
Yeah.
So
right.
there you can then avoid all these disturbances from people, because you won't see people around cemetery celebrating, dancing, or
Yeah, but it's usually when we go with a group, like being led by a venerable, a monk. Yeah, usually that's the.
But you should, once you get there, you should separate. You should go, leave a distance between you so that you feel you're alone.
Yes, we usually have a distance between us.
Yes. Don't stick together like a pair of husband and wife. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, we usually have sit separately until the time's up, then we gather again.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Can you find useful? You find beneficial for your practice?
It's peaceful, like what Ajahn says. So it's sometimes can be very blissful. Yeah, but sometimes of course the insects come and bother you.
You should bring a mosquito with you when you go into outside.
Yeah, a net or something.
Yeah, a net or something to prevent the mosquito. In Thailand, monks have this umbrella in which he hangs on a branch of a tree or something, and then he has this mosquito net cover from from the umbrella down. So it serves like a tent.
Yes, I do have a tent with me. I bought in Thailand.
Yeah.
So when I'm in the outdoor, I'll try to use it.
Yeah, because you don't have to expose your body to insects, unnecessarily. But if you want to test your mind whether you can leave the body alone, maybe you can do that from time to time. Just sit without any net, any protection, and let just the body be bitten by the insects, and then see if you can still concentrate on your meditation practice.
Yeah, it will be a very big challenge for me because the moses usually bothers me a lot. Yeah, but that will be my next challenge, I guess.
Yeah. To let go of your body, let go of your attachment to your body. You know it's going to end up one day. It's going to be a corpse, and if they leave the body in the cemetery, it will be eaten up by the ants and the insects anyway.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Rusli, you're next. Rusli from India, right?
Good evening, Ajahn. From Indonesia, Ajahn.
Indonesia. Okay. Any question?
No question, Ajahn. Thank you very much.
No question. Okay. Then next is Yin. Yin from Singapore.
Good evening, Tan Ajahn. I'm from Malaysia, Tan Ajahn.
Malaysia, yes.
Yes.
Any
Tan
question?
Ajahn, yes, I do have a question. Because nowadays there are a lot of quite high rate of death in Malaysia. So, and also I hear a lot of the ambulance, passing through. So I'm just thinking, possible to meditate on death, Tan Ajahn? And how can I do it? Yeah, so that to reduce the fear.
Well, first you can, to reduce the fear, it depends on whether you're afraid of death or not. If you're afraid of death, then it's not good for you to use death contemplation, because as soon as you think of death, your fear will come up.
Okay.
So if you want to do death contemplation, you have to have some samadhi or some jhana first, so that your mind will not react fearfully when you think about death.
Mm-hmm. How to, just now Tan Ajahn was talking about to reduce the attachment to the body. I don't know whether, meditating on death would actually help to reduce the attachment to the body.
Well, if you can contemplate that one day your body is gonna become a corpse, you're gonna lose your body one day. If you can think like that, that also can let go of your attachment to a certain level. At least to a level where you might be able to accept that death is inevitable, and that is something that you will have to accept.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you accept, then your fear can disappear, and your dukkha about your suffering about the body will disappear.
But given that I don't think my samadhi is strong,
well, sometimes you don't know how strong your samadhi is regarding a certain particular thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you can contemplate and not be adversely affected by your contemplation, then it means you can do it. But when you are adversely affected by your contemplation, then it means your mind is not ready to accept it, accept this truth. Yes, it's reacting, it's rejecting the truth.
Okay.
And it makes you. But if it's not rejecting, it's accepting, and it becomes calm and peaceful, then that means you can do it.
Okay. Maybe please can Tan Ajahn teach me, and then I'll try and see how my mind reacts to it.
Well, I already taught you. It's you who have to take the test. You have to try it to see how your mind reacts every time you think of death.
Okay.
First thinking about it, maybe, and then next go to see a living, a real death, a real corpse, for instance.
Okay.
So that you will see how strong your mind is. Then, if you can see a real corpse, and then your mind doesn't have any adverse effect, then maybe your mind is accepting the truth, and then you can then contemplate on your own body, that your own body will also one day be like that.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Devi from Indonesia. You have to speak louder.
Nama Budaya Ajahn. Ajahn, can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay, I have a question, Ajahn. Some meditation during this day, I keep finding a light. Sometimes it's very bright, like sitting in the front of the sun, and I can stand it, I react and go out. Sometimes the whole body is in the light, like the lantern in the night sky. Cannot think, only knowing all is silent. The consciousness is round like a ball, and it's very clear here. I can be in this state if I go to episode 100 more. This effect is I cannot sleep at night. I remain fully conscious, not sleepy until 5 a.m. I just can't sleep. But I feel happy, cannot sleep also happy. Wake up happy during the day. I'm very happy, but happy this is just last for 2 days. And become normal again like anesthetic running out of the effect. Is this samadhi, Ajahn?
I would say the mind is mindful, because if it's samadhi, then it should be still. But this means that your mind is alert with mindfulness, and it is calm, and it's but it's not samadhi. Samadhi has to be the mind has to be completely still, not moving.
Still, when in daily days,
No, when you sit down, when you sit and meditate, your body becomes still and your mind becomes still. Then that is samadhi. But when you come out of samadhi, then it's considered mindfulness. You're being mindful, not being calm from your samadhi. But we don't call it samadhi. That's all. It doesn't matter the label. As long as your mind is peaceful and calm and awake, then this is good for you, for your mind.
Yeah, it's usually I want to sleep. I don't dare to scanning for once. If I just remember the head, the shoulder, the hand, I will be awake all night. So I don't dare to do that when I want to go to sleep. Another question is, when I pay attention to the breath, I notice that I have 3 comfortable points: the forehead, the nose, and the throat. And I read Ajahn Lee quote which says that it's necessary to pay attention to that comfortable point to spread energy. Yes, I feel the energy spread throughout the whole body, make the whole body feel whole to be here at this time, at this present time. Is that correct, Ajahn?
Well, if it is calm and peaceful and still, it is correct. If it's not, then it's not yet correct. So you have to do it until your mind becomes calm and becomes still. Stop all action, stop all mental action, stop. All that is left is merely knowing.
If I see the light, is that correct, Ajahn?
It's not neither correct or not incorrect. It's just something that can happen, but you should not pay attention to them. Anything that appears, you want to stick to your meditation object as your point of focus.
But it's normally, Ajahn, yeah. Then how to do Mararasati, Ajahn?
I just talked early on with somebody
about the death.
Yeah, this Marananusati, death contemplation. Same thing.
When I sitting meditation, sometimes I can have a stressful thought become. And when the stressful thought came, I cannot do meditation again. I want to have a happy feelings like 2 days ago. So I thought I should keep doing meditation so I can continue to be happy. But this is an addiction or attachment. Is it okay if I have this kind of thought?
It's good to meditate. It's good to be addicted to meditation. Yeah, but the problem is, can you do it or not? It doesn't mean that by sitting you are meditating. If you're sitting and your mind go all around the world, then you're not meditating. You have to be mindful. You have to bring your mind to your meditation object. Then you're meditating that way.
Ajahn. But
okay,
usually,
one last question for you. Go ahead, one more question.
How to can meditate more than 2 hours? Because I only 2 hours.
Get up and do walking meditation instead. If you cannot sit, then get up and do walking meditation.
And sit again.
Yes, then come back and sit again. All right. Okay. Next, Katrina from Australia, from Noosa, Australia. Haven't seen you in a while.
Hi, John. How are you?
All right.
I'm good. Just listening.
And no question.
No.
Everything okay?
Yeah, everything's good. So good to listen. Thank you.
Okay. I'll go to the next person then. Samho Tomo from Indonesia. Oh no, I'm from Australia also. Yeah. Right? Where in Australia? Melbourne?
In Melbourne, Ajahn.
Melbourne. Okay.
Not too far away from Chao Kun Keng.
Chao Kun Keng.
Yeah, in Geelong. He just finished walking Tudong to Sydney.
Oh, really? All the way from Melbourne?
Yeah, from Melbourne to Sydney. He's now in Sydney and going back to Melbourne, but I'm not sure yet. Is he going to walk or using?
How many miles the distance?
It's fixed 2 months, but sometimes another monk accompanied. So he traveled from Melbourne and then he visited monasteries, and some of the monastery actually send 1 or 2 monks for 1 or 2 days.
No, I mean the distance, the walking distance between the two.
About 300
kilometers. So he has to walk and then spend the night on the way, right?
Yes. In the caravan park, and then sometimes the devotees actually offered the empty house for them to stay, but the lay people stay in the tent.
So they're caravan walking together.
Walking, yes, in the morning, and then in the evening, of course, they stay in place that wherever they can find.
How many monks and lay people?
Yeah, so 2 monks, it's a fixed one, and on the way, it's actually a couple of monks join in just for 1 or 2 days, but 2 monks is fixed. Ajahn Chao Kun Keng and the other more junior monks.
And no lay people accompanying?
Lay people, a group of lay people, mainly from Malaysia and Singapore, and some from Australian. So keep accompanying and preparing everything for Ajahn. Like they explore the route first to make sure that everything is in place.
Yeah. Do they walk along the highway, or do they walk on the?
No, not along the highway. I actually met before he departed Melbourne, and then they took more like a country road rather than highway. It's dangerous, Ajahn, along the highway because there's many vehicles with a high speed.
I see. So they walk along the country road, smaller road.
Yeah, and they send the photos with the smaller monastery, and this is quite a beautiful and serene surrounding.
Do they need to get any permit to do this?
No, Ajahn.
No need to get permit.
No need to get permit. It's okay. Only some of the curiosity from the local people, and then they interviewed him, and then he appeared in local TV. The people just curious, what is the motivation of him doing that from Melbourne to Sydney? Yeah.
And what did he say?
He said it's actually to introduce Buddhism to the community, and then to distribute metta along the way. So it's actually to cultivate merit as well.
Okay. That's good. To propagate Buddhism.
Yes. And during his ways, actually, he said, surprisingly, if he actually encountered a couple of very nice monasteries in a smaller place, sort of like a smaller meditation center along the way, which is not noticed before.
Okay, that's good to hear.
Thank you, Ajahn. I have a question, Ajahn. This is in observing Sila. When, for example, if we want to observe Artha Sila, given that current situation with this pandemic, do we need to get it from a monk, or can we do it at home by reciting the Sila?
You can do it at home. You don't need to have a monk to give you the Sila, because you already know what they are. So
right, okay.
It's only when you don't know, then you need to ask the monk for information, really. The monk just give you the information. But as far as keeping the Sila, you have to set up the resolution yourself. You don't need to do it in front of a monk.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn. That's all my question. Really, thank you very much. I'm grateful can attend this talk.
Okay, you're welcome. Next, Vince Chua from Singapore. You have to unmute, okay.
Okay, yes. Good evening, Ajahn. A question about facing fear or death. And usually for people like me, I will use a replacement thought, even for anger, for example. The replacement thought with a better state of mind, saying that, hey, quiet mind, quiet body, quiet space, then the anger disappears. So the way I think that I'm doing it is more like using a replacement thought. Is there any other skillful means, or is there a better way to avoid using replacement thought? Because replacement thought are more like running away from the problem.
That's right. You need to use the truth. You need to use the truth to conquer your fear. That is that the body is impermanent. It is subjected to aging, sickness, and death. That the body is no self. It's not you. You are not the body. The body is just merely the composition of the four elements created by your father and your mother. And you just happen to be the mind who just happened to come and possess this body. So eventually the body and the mind will have to be separated again at the time of the dissolution of the body. So you can teach the mind the truth. And once the mind knows that it doesn't die with the body, and it is not the body, then it can then overcome the fear of death permanently.
So what you're saying is that probably I have not really accepted the three characteristics of anicca, dukkha, anatta. That's why I'm always using replacement thought Is that the mindset that I have right now?
Yeah, not accepting because you don't see it yet that the body is not you.
Okay, understand.
And to be able to see that the body is not you, you have to have jhana. See? When you have jhana, when you enter into jhana, the mind and the body separated temporarily.
Okay. So is jhana open eyes? I mean, is that called jhana?
Yes. Jhana means absorption. The mind becomes absorbed in a meditation object to the point where it becomes still and separated from the body.
Okay. Sure.
And once you can see, once you experience this separation, when it reunites with the body again, then you use the wisdom to teach them, to remind the mind that the mind and the body are not the same.
So is it a goal that we should always keep the mind and body separate at all times?
Well, not separated, but the goal is to teach the mind that the body and the mind are two different individuals. They're like Siamese twins, you know.
Okay.
But when one twin dies, the other twin still continues on.
I understand.
When the body dies, the mind continues on. Where it goes depends on whether they have defilement or not. If the mind has defilement, then it keeps going to the next birth. If there's no defilement left in the mind, then it goes to Nibbana.
Okay, so that means if there's instance that I can detect the detection straight away, I need to go and understand or contemplate about the three characteristics such that to enforce my understanding of this three characteristics. Is that correct?
Just to remind your mind of the truth, because sometimes, see, when your mind is separated by jhana, it's only temporarily, and when it reunites with the body, the delusion still takes over the mind.
Yes.
So you have to want to clear this delusion by keep contemplating on the truth that the body is not you, that the body has to die. In order to get rid of your delusion, which will keep you, which will teach you, which will deceive you to think that you are the body, and make you attach and cling to your body, and causing dukkha by attaching or clinging to the body.
Okay. I'll try my best. Thanks for the understanding.
All right. Okay. Next, Zhao Ka from Silver Spring, Maryland. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Ajahn. Thank you. I think I'm quickly going to thank the admin for taking care of the video problem that I was having. So thank you, admin. Ajahn, I have a question here that when I die or when somebody dies, what does the mind carry with it?
Everything that has accumulated, see, from the past to the present, to the moment of death, meaning good and bad karma. The good and the bad karma that will form the character of the mind. See, you are what your karma produce you to be. If you have good karma, then you are a good person. If you have bad karma, then you are a bad person. So the next life you'll continue on to be a bad person or a good person, depending on your good or bad karma. Which is more? If the good karma is more than the bad karma, then you'll be a good person. If your bad karma is more than your bad karma, then you'll be a bad person. But also in each one of us, we have good and bad in us. But which side has the more power to express itself? If you have more karma, then your good karma, then your good karma will have more ability to express itself. So I show you as a good person, generally. But from time to time, sometimes your bad side might come up also.
And Ajahn, your video are off.
Off again, okay. But you can still hear my voice?
Right.
I can.
Okay, then maybe it just turned itself off, I think, back on now. Does this answer your question?
Ajahn, actually, previously you mentioned that that certain attributes are carried with the chitta. So I'm just wondering why.
Oh yes. Your ability to do things will go with you. If you used to meditate, will continue to meditate. If you used to keep the sila, you can still continue keeping the sila. Everything that you used to do will go with you.
But the chance of meeting Buddhist teachings again is something that will depend on my karma, or is it going to be just my luck, or it may not happen?
It's like buying a lottery ticket. Powerball, your chance of meeting the next Buddha is like winning a Powerball ticket. Because you don't know when the new Buddha will appear. And the present Buddha already passed away. And the remnants of his teaching are still remain as Buddhism. But Buddhism, according to his prediction, will last no longer than 5,000 years. So we're halfway there now. So next time you happen to take rebirth as a human, it might be, if it's longer than 2,500 years, and when you reborn next time, you might not come across Buddhism. Then you have to wait for the new Buddha to become enlightened and establish a new Buddhism. So it's better not to waste your time now, waste your opportunity now, rather than kick the bucket down the road. Do it now, and you will be rewarded. The Buddha said, do it now, and you can be rewarded in 7 days, or 7 months, or 7 years. So why are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Give up everything and concentrate on meditation practice. Everything else doesn't mean anything, to your mind. They are distraction. They are things to deceive your mind with, that's all. The happiness that you experience from things in this world, they are just, they're like, something, they're like illusion, they're not real. They don't stick with your mind, they don't stay in your mind. All the pleasure that you have experienced, they come just and go, like mirages, like mirage. They're not real. But the practice, the result that you get from meditation is real. It will stick with your mind. Clear?
Thank you, Thanajanji. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Thank you.
So switch your method of enjoying yourself. Instead of enjoying through your senses, try to enjoy it through your meditation. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Next, Starling from London. Starling and her daughter.
Hello, Ajahn.
Any question today?
No, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Well, then let me go to the next person then. Who would that be? Yana? Yana Dhammigo?
Let's be gone.
Please turn on your microphone and mute your microphone. Okay.
Namaste. Good evening. May you healthy peacefully. Thank you for the opportunity. I want to ask, this is my experience. When sometimes I see looking, example, I see a plan, and I know that is a plan, but at the time, the mind have a mind arise, like see that the plant is a skeleton. My question is, what is this? This is a contemplation from the teacher or our sanya. Thank you, Luang Por.
When you see a plant like a vegetation plant, and you see skeleton in the plant, then it's your delusion.
Yes, I see with my eye, and I know that this is a plant, no the skeleton. This is delusion.
Yeah, it's delusion. It's not real.
And then what must to do?
What you want to do is when you see things, you want to stop your mind from having any attachment to them. You don't want to be attached to anything, because when you're attached, you can be hurt by your attachment. When you lose something that you are attached to. So you want to teach your mind not to be attached to anything, because everything is impermanent. It doesn't matter what they are. You don't have to know whether they are plant, they are animal, or anything. Just know that they are all impermanent, and that one day you will have to be separated from them. So it's better not to attach or cling to them. It's better to live without any possession, to have nothing. Because then when you have nothing, then you have no separation from nothing. Then you will have no suffering, no sadness, no sorrow, because there is no separation from the things you love, because you don't have anything to love in the first place. All right?
All right, sadhu, Luang Por. I won't take permission from Luang Por. I want to say with Luang Por, before I already sent an email to Luang Por Sudam at Wapabantat about take permission translating the book Patipada book. And then I have a reply because I said in the email, I not yet found the translator. And then this Zoom, I see one person, the name is Siddhartha. I won't take permission from Luang Por to take the handphone number from Siddhartha. Can?
I think you can chat with him right now.
I turned on the chat already.
You can chat. You can go to the chat bit down below, click on it, and then you can send the message to Siddhartha. Siddhartha can then give you the information you want. Look at the bottom of your screen. There's an icon called chat. Just click on it, then type the message.
Yes, Luang Por, thank you very much for Luang Por Metta. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Sadhu.
Next, Constance from Singapore.
Good evening, Tanajan. I'm fine. I'm just listening today. Thank you.
No question.
No question. Thank you.
Okay. Anuraji, do you want to say anything?
Yes. Good evening, Tanajan. Thank you for your teaching. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
2 o'clock for you now. Huh?
Yeah, it's past, yeah. So, Tanajan, this question is very similar to what Kenneth has asked. I thank you for him. My practice has been good, especially during weekends, so when I don't work. But usually during weekdays, I come home with a lot of project issues and problem solving. So I can manage my mind when I sit down to meditate. But what's happening is in the middle of the night, I wake up and then all the the problems or the thoughts coming into my head, and when I try to recite Buddha, I know that I'm aware that the train of thoughts are passing by. Even I try to forcefully stop, it doesn't work. It comes twice the speed or the intense. So is there any practical advice that you can
just
give
stick
me?
to reciting Buddha. See, right now the train of your thought is very strong, and you're just beginning to recite Buddha. So it'll take a while for Buddha to be effective. So just keep on reciting, and don't expect instantaneous result from reciting Buddha. It might take you 5 minutes, 10 minutes before your Buddha will be strong enough to stop or to disregard your train of thought.
Yeah.
So you just have to persist with your mantra.
Yeah.
Don't expect quick result from using it, because your train of thought has been thinking all day long. It's like a runaway train, you know.
Yeah.
So, and you're just starting your Buddha train to stop it. So it's going to take a while before Buddha can catch up with the speed of your train of thoughts. So just stick to Buddha.
Okay.
Eventually, then your thought will diminish, and then eventually stop if you keep on reciting the mantra.
Yeah.
The secret here is not to stop the mantra before you achieve the result. It's like resuscitating someone. You just have to pumping the body until the person responds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't do it once or twice and then you stop. You keep on doing it until the person responds and awakes. Same way with the mind, you keep using Buddha as resuscitation. Keep reciting Buddha until eventually your thought will stop. Or you forget about the thought because you're so immersed with Buddha. You want to be immersed in Buddha until you forget the thoughts.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you. So
it's a good method. It's just the application that's not good yet.
Yes.
You're not persisting. You're not determined to use Buddha.
Yeah, true.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Ajahn. Thank you.
Okay. Next is Hendrik Chuan. Hendrik, where are you from? Please unmute your microphone first.
Okay. Good evening, Ajahn.
Where are you from?
From Indonesia.
Do you have any question?
Not yet, Ajahn. Still listening.
Okay.
Thank you, Ajahn.
Okay. Joko Gumilang. Joko, you're next. Where are you from?
From Indonesia, Ajahn.
Any question?
I'm just joining, Ajahn. I still listening and have no question.
Okay. That means we have finished our first round because the other person hasn't turned on their video, so it means they're not asking any question. If you want to ask, you have to turn on your video so we know. So let me go to Facebook then for question if there is any.
Yes, we have 4 questions from Facebook, Ajahn. First question from Ho Liang Soon. At the time watching to the breath, any concentration have to do with the mind?
No, when you're watching your breath, the mind is no need to watch the mind because the mind is under control of mindfulness. Mindfulness is forcing the mind to watch the breath, to stop it from thinking. So there's no need to watch the mind. Just keep watching the breath.
Next question from Lavi Janta Kumar. Ajahn, is good and bad a judgmental call? Sometimes for certain people, animal sacrifice is appreciated and a purposeful part of their culture. This impression is a mind-made assumption. What is right and wrong become a subjective perspective. The citta knows and feels the action. Your insight, Pante, on how we can conceptualize good and bad become a hindrance to our practice, metta.
Well, good and bad in terms of Buddhism is that what you do and affect other people, good or bad. If you hurt other people or yourself, then this is bad. If you do and it benefits other people or yourself, then this is good. So this is how we define good and bad in Buddhism. The effect of our action. If it hurts other people or hurt yourself, then it's bad. If it's beneficial to other people or to yourself, then this is good action. This is good. Okay.
Next question from Winston Go. When we're about to die, how can we prevent our conscious from being reborn? Can Ajahn please advise?
Oh, you have to practice now and stop your defilements, stop all your cravings, your desire. Then you will not be reborn. But if you expect to do it at the moment of death, then that's not possible because it's not easy to do even when you're not dying. How can you do anything when you're about to die?
Next question from Pauline Soon. Ajahn said, do it now. Maybe can achieve the right path. How to do it? Like surrender all our property, carry out higher sila, continuous life like a monk. Can Ajahn teach the way more? Thank you.
Well, look at the Buddha. This is exactly what he did. He gave up all his possession, then he became a monk, keeping the sila, and concentrate on his meditation practice. This brought him the goal within 6 years after his ordination, after he left the palace at the age of 29. When he was 35, he became enlightened. So the more you concentrate, the faster will be the result on your practice. If you practice halfway, half-heartedly, then your result will be half-heartedly result, not complete. So you want to have complete result, then your commitment to your practice has to be 100% complete. Okay, is that all from Facebook?
Yes.
All right, then we have the second round now. If anybody would like to ask any more questions, you're welcome to do so.
We have William turn on the microphone.
Okay,
William.
Auntie, I'll ask in a minute if I can. I'll just wait for now. Thank you.
It's all right. Go ahead. You're already talking.
Well, it's. I guess the question is, how do you? How can you fill your mind with light, Bhante?
Light?
With kusala.
Oh, you have to have a calm mind first. Make your mind happy first. Once your mind is happy, then you will think of good things. You will want to share happiness with other people. But if your mind is not happy, if your mind is sad or angry, then you want to share bad things for other people. So you have to meditate, basically. That's what it comes down to. To meditate, to get into jhana, to get into upekkha. Once you have upekkha, your mind will be happy. And then you want to share this happiness with other people. Yes, when you do or say things, you do it in such a way without hurting other people.
Yes, Bhante.
So make yourself happy first. Then all the kusala will come afterwards. If you're not happy, then all the akusala will come. Like when you're angry, when you're sad, or when you're you don't feel good, you tend to be bad to other people. But when you feel good, you're happy, then you tend to be good to other people. Now if you happen to win the lottery jackpot, then you want to share some of the money to some other people, right?
Yes, Bhante.
Yeah, okay.
Does Mara have a place in your teaching also? Do you see that Mara also is a very strong force in the world?
Mara is just a bad karma. It's a personification of bad karma, bad action.
So what about the asuras and the preta world? Is this also have an effect on the human world?
It affects the mind. See, the asura, they do bad karma from some reason. Asura, I think they do bad karma out of fear. They're afraid to be hurt, so they hurt other people first to protect themselves. So they become asura.
So how can one protect oneself against these beings?
By keeping the precepts, by maintaining the precepts.
Yes.
And this being will not enter into your mind. Actually, it's your mind that turns into these beings if you're not keeping the precept.
Yes.
So try to keep the 5 precepts and you prevent your mind from being an animal, being a preta, being a sura, or being a hell.
Yes, Bhante. Thank you very much.
All right. Any more questions from you?
That's enough for now. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay. And then we go to Alvin Lee. He raised his hand previously.
Ajahn, just a question. I think I was told before that only Arya and those person with psychic advice, can teach the Dhamma. What is your comment on that? Because sometimes I give basic instruction to my children as well, practicing meditation or share basic Dhamma with them.
Well, you can teach what you know, see? But if you try to teach something you don't know, then you can be misleading. So before you teach somebody, or if somebody asks you for direction, you have to know the direction first, right? Before you can give them the direction. If you don't know the direction, you say, "Oh, go this way," you probably get there, but you don't know whether they'll get there or not. So it doesn't have to be a noble person to teach Dhamma, but a noble person will be more certain about his teaching than a non-noble person, because some of the teaching, some of the things that we learn from reading or listening is not yet complete, like the knowledge you gain from accessing the noble level. So to be certain, it's better to be a noble person to teach the Dhamma than not a noble person. But that doesn't mean a noble person cannot teach Dhamma. But his teaching might be cloudy with delusion, might be tainted with delusion.
So some people told me if it's not complete Dhamma that you teach, it's like what Ajahn says, is tainted with delusion. It's bad karma for you as well. Is that true?
Well, it's bad karma in the sense that it distracts you from your practice. You should be a noble person. You should concentrate on your practice more than teaching other people.
I see.
Practice until you are fully graduated. Then you have no more practice to do. Then you can devote the rest of your time to teaching other people. Follow the example of the Buddha. He didn't teach anybody until he became fully enlightened. Once he became fully enlightened, then he devoted all his time to teaching only. So when you're not fully enlightened and you spend half your time teaching other people, your practice will never get you to become fully enlightened. To be fully enlightened, you have to completely devote all your time for the practice only. If you divide up your time to teaching and practicing, you will never get there. Look at the Ananda, Venerable Ananda, who looks after the Buddha. He didn't have time for his practice because he spent all his time caring for the Buddha. So he never became fully enlightened. It's only after the Buddha passed away, then he has all the time to do his practice. And he could do that in 3 months' time. See. So it's better not to worry about teaching other people. You might be able to give a brief instruction if they ask you or something, but don't try to do things like I'm doing right now, spending hours talking Dhamma, teaching people. You should be meditating, practicing your Dhamma practice to get fully enlightened first. Once you become fully enlightened, then you can teach as long as you want, as much as you want.
So Tanajan, for my children, sometimes they see me meditating, they want to join me. I just give them basic instruction. That's okay, right?
That's right. That's okay. What to do.
Okay.
But like Ajahn, when he was doing walking meditation, some of the hill tribe people saw him walking. They wondered what he was looking for. So he asked Ajahn, "What are you looking for?" And Ajahn said, "I'm looking for Bhutto. Can I help you?" "Yes." "How to do it?" "Just we keep reciting Bhutto." Yes. So he teach them indirectly without they knowing that they've been taught to develop mindfulness.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
Thanks.
Anybody else?
Okay, we have Emily. She just turn on the video.
Emily?
Hi, John.
Okay, go ahead. Any question?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, I guess, 2 pieces. One, how does one work through physical pains or ailments during meditation? Because I just noticed that it's difficult for me to it feels like there's a barrier between me and really good focus when I have all these problems arising, and it's really causing a damper lately for me.
That's why you should meditate when you're good, when you're feeling good. So when you're feeling good, don't waste your good time on some other thing. Spend it on meditation, because in the future you don't know when you're gonna get sick or feeling bad, and you won't be able to meditate as much.
Okay. And then another was, when meditating, I do like to give merit. There's a lot of sad things happening in the world, and is there more besides sending goodwill and merit, equanimity and compassion to those? Is there other things that I'm able to do for others as well? I feel I don't like to feel powerless in the face of great adversity.
Well, you cannot do much for people. You can only do so much, So just do what you can.
Thank you.
Besides, you have to look at the whole picture. The whole picture that this is a world, this is a messy world. Everything's gonna be bad to everybody, because everybody will eventually end up getting sick and die anyway. So regardless of how much you do, you cannot change this fact, this truth. But it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do anything either. Just try to do as much as you can, even helping one person to make a person happy for one day or something like that. It's worth the effort if you can do it. But you should also not forget doing things for yourself also. Sometimes you forget, you want to help other people and you forget that you're not helping yourself. You still have work for your own self to do.
I'm prone to that. I'm very prone to that.
Yeah. So help yourself first. Make yourself fully help. Then we will be able to help other people more that way, like the Buddha did. Even after his death, he's still helping us by his teaching.
Like you mentioned to Alvin with the, I guess, get enlightened before you teach. So I guess similar to goodwill, I reckon. How can I help others if I can't help myself?
Well, like if you can afford it, right now they are hungry people. If you can help feed them, you can do that. Mm-hmm. But not by merely thinking. Thinking doesn't help anybody, right? Your thought doesn't make other people fill up the stomach. They need food. So you want to help them. If you can afford, then buy them some food, for instance. All right?
Thank you.
All right, okay. Anybody else? La, you have Facebook question?
Yes, 3 more questions from Facebook, Thanajahn. First question from Kathleen Pante. Can we recite Triple Gem during our meditation?
You can use the Triple Gem as your object of meditation by reciting either the long version or the short version. The short version is to recite Bhutto Dhammo Sangho. The long version is to chant Itipiso Bhagava Araham Samma Sambuddho. This is a preliminary method of meditation. Eventually you want to come and watch your breath. But when you're starting, you might find it difficult to focus on your breath. Then you can recite the Bhutto Dhammo Sangho or the Itipiso until you calm your mind enough to be able to watch your breath. Then you can then stop chanting and then turn to watching your breath instead.
Next question from Marilyn Lee. When we are being mindful, when it comes to a state when you don't even have any taste of the food, but only know you are chewing.
Well, if you're mindful, you should know what's the taste and what that you are chewing something at the same time. You cannot separate the fact that you are experiencing the taste and that you're also watching what you do at the same time. So I think you should know both, know the taste as well as know that you're eating that thing in your mouth. Not letting your mind go think about other things. That's the purpose of training in mindfulness, to stop thinking. Is that all?
Next question from Tek Hong Ko. Thanajahn, does donating a Buddha statue to a temple fall under the Sankhara requisite, and accordingly, it is a right meritorious action?
Giving is considered good action, meritorious action, but you also have to look at the purpose or the usefulness of the things you give. If you give something that people already have, like in the temple, there might be 10 Buddha's statues already. Giving another statue doesn't change anything, doesn't make anything better. Then maybe you should give something instead. Maybe the temple needs to pay the electricity bill, and you give them the Buddha statue. What can they do with that? So you have to also look at the receiver end of the dana, what they need, and give what they need, not give what you want to give. Sometimes people want to give Buddha statue, but they don't know that the monk is starving, for instance. So you have to look at both ends. what you want to give, and also the receiving end. Can they use what you give or not? All right. Is that it?
One more question,ท่านอาจารย์ Question from T Sir อาจารย์ please explain meaning of practice straight, practice rightly, practice well in Itipiso.
Oh, it means that you practice fully, practice fully, like all the time, from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. Train yourself with mindfulness, walking meditation, sitting meditation, keeping the precepts. This is considered to be fully practiced. Supatipanno, practice good. Uchu patipanno, speak, practice directly from toward nibbana, or directly on the path. For instance, don't get off the path. Stay on the path of the teaching. Dana, sila, and pavana. Don't go do any other thing. And practice for the purpose of cessation of suffering. This is yaya patipanno. And samiji patipanno means practice correctly. So these are the four methods of practice that makes the person a noble person. Supatipanno, uchu patipanno, yaya patipanno, samiji patipanno. Okay.
One more question, ท่านอาจารย์ from V Cheng Chuan. I feel exhausted after practicing meditation and mindfulness. When I try to relax by being at ease, desire and lust are coming out. What to do next?
Well, you have to keep on practicing mindfulness because your opponent doesn't stop yet. How can you stop? When you're in the ring, if you don't beat your opponent, then your opponent will keep beating at you. So this is how your opponent do to you, your defilements, your craving, and your desire. They keeping attacking you, so you cannot just relax and take it easy. You have to use mindfulness to oppose your defilements. So you get exhausted. So what? Eventually, when your defilement eventually stop, then you'll feel a sense of release and at ease. So right now you have to persevere. You have to keep on fighting. Don't give up, even if you are exhausted. Look at the Buddha. He fasted for 49 days.
อาจารย์ one more question from Linda Lee. Thank you, Ajahn, for your teaching and your time on my question. How can I stop myself from deepening my attraction towards someone who I have to interact in my weekly course? I attempt meditating to detach logical listening, to encounter my desire for him, and constant reminder of the noble truth, yet still the feeling is growing stronger and have now developed to have expectation and suffering.
You have to think of the person's 32 parts of the body of that person. Don't only think about what you see. You have to think of the things that you cannot see also under the skin. Think of the skeleton, think of the heart, the lungs, the liver, the kidneys, and all the other organs. If you can see these organs inside the body of the person you are attracted to, then you can stop your attraction. Or think of the person, if he should die, will you still be attracted to him when he dies, when he becomes a corpse? Will you still want to go sleep with him? For instance, this is something you should ask yourself or teach yourself.
That's all, ท่านอาจารย์
Okay, anybody else would like to ask? Okay, Evie, you raise your hand.
Thank you, Ajahn. Ajahn, my question is, I have always have something in my head, like a formation. And my job is I have to adjust my head all the time. But this kind of the head condition always remind me of training. Sometimes it's comfortable, sometimes it hurts, especially in this part. So how to make it comfortable all the time, Ajahn?
Just ignore it or just accept it for what it is. It says you cannot do anything about it. You cannot get rid of it. Then you just have to embrace it, I guess. Just accept it. Don't try to reject. Because when you try to reject something that you cannot reject, then it can become stressful.
It already happened for 2 years, Ajahn.
Just meditate and this problem will eventually disappear. Just keep developing mindfulness, mantra. And then eventually...
I carry it would happen to a really disease in my head.
Well, if you cannot get rid of it now, then you just have to accept it. Yeah.
Accept it. Okay.
Don't try to reject, because the harder you reject, then the more stressful your mind will become.
Can mindfulness have hope for samadhi, who is like my condition?
Again, please repeat your question again.
Can have mindfulness have hope for attain a samadhi?
That's right. If you have mindfulness, you will have samadhi. So keep training in mindfulness as much as possible. Stop thinking. Focus on what you do. When you're not meditating, keep focusing on what you do or reciting the mantra. Then when you meditate, your mind will be mindful and not thinking about other things. Then it will get into samadhi that way.
And I often hear people ask about jhana. What is special about jhana? And what are the characteristics of jhana?
Jhana is happiness of mind, from peace of mind. When the mind becomes peaceful and still, then you have happiness.
Is to attain jhana, we must beyond samadhi?
No, you have to have, so jhana is samadhi. So samadhi and jhana is the same thing. You have to have mindfulness to get into samadhi or jhana.
It means someone who has attained jhana also can step back there, Ajahn. People with jhana can step back.
What do you mean by step back?
Back to
recall past life.
No. Step back. Our exercise.
Exercise.
Our meditation can step back again if we don't have a mindful. For example,
yes. If you don't continue on mindfulness, you can lose your jhana.
Can step back. Yeah.
Yes, you can.
And regarding the separation from the body, as Ajahn explained earlier, it seems I have experienced it once. My body was pulled back as far as 1 meter, then slowly joined again. I was shocked by this happen. Is this jhana, Ajahn?
I don't know. You have to ask yourself. You have to answer it yourself. It doesn't matter. If you ask me, then it means you don't know. And if you don't know, I don't think I can tell you either, because I didn't experience what you experienced.
Okay. Since then, I have sometimes experienced like strange. For example, my hair moved to the side of my face. Then I hold my hair, still in my head. And sometimes my skin is itchy. I don't scratch. I just pay attention to the location of the itch and start zooming like a magnifying glass. And the itching begins to unravel like ants that break down, the itching decrease, but after I don't zoom the itch back again.
I think this are the question I don't want to listen to. I think you just have to give it to yourself better, okay? These are your personal experiences.
It cannot sharing.
You can share, but I'm not here to confirm yes or no to what you experience, because I don't experience it. Yeah? I teach you how to deal with these experiences is to leave them alone. Just know them for what they are. Okay. All right. Okay. Let me go to someone else. Joko. You raise your hand, Joko.
Thank you, Ajahn. I want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So there is a Buddha remark before Parinibbana. It is in Pali words, which is Attahi Atanonato, translated to make yourself as your own protection. At the same time, we also taught to take refuge to Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So, what is the meaning of make yourself as your own protection? And in what condition or situation we can make ourselves as our own protection? Thank you, Ajahn.
See, before you can make yourself your own protection or your own refuge, you need to rely on the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha to teach you how to do that. So there's two different type of dependency or refuge. You rely on the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha to teach you how to make yourself to become your own protection, your own protector, your own refuge. So there's two different things. Eventually, you won't need the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha once you know how to protect yourself, how to look after yourself. All right?
All right, Ajahn. So, I just think that when Buddha remarked the verse, he stated in front of the monk. So I think maybe this is only valid for the monk. So maybe as the lay people, we only have to take refuge to Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and I don't think that that verse is valid to the lay people too.
It's valid to everybody. This is the final goal that everybody has to reach.
Yes,
you eventually have to be your own refuge.
Yes.
But before you can be your own refuge, you have to rely on the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha to teach you first. But if you know already, then you don't need the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. If you are already your own refuge, then you don't need the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha.
Well, Ajahn, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Almost 2 hours now into the meeting. Yeah. Okay, Facebook. Go ahead.
One more question from Facebook, Thanachan. Question from Wei Cheng Chuan. Where did Buddha go after he attained Parinibbana? Is his mind meditating in the space?
His mind is outside of the triple world that we exist. We all exist in the triple world called samsara. And his mind doesn't reside in the triple world. It resides outside of the triple world. It's called Nibbana.
Next question from Wai Ching Chuan. Please kindly assist to explain the technique of Kasina meditation.
I don't know. I don't teach Kasina meditation, so you have to go ask somebody else. For me to teach you, it might not be correct. So it's better not for me to do it. I will teach Anapanasati or mantra Bhutto Bhutto.
That's all, Thanajan.
Okay.
We have
All right.
three people coming up. Alfredo.
Alfredo, you want to say hello?
Hello, Bante.
Hello.
I
Good.
take a vaccine of COVID now.
Good. So you're happy now, huh?
Yes, the first dose, the first vaccine.
I see. What type? Pfizer, Moderna, or what?
Fiocruz.
Fiocruz.
Yes, American vaccine.
American vaccine? You sure? I haven't
Yes.
heard of it before.
Yes.
Okay.
My
Good.
practice is okay, Bante. I practicing more in my mind, and it's very good. I have to separate body. Practicing mind is very, very good, ne, Bante?
Yes, good. Good for the mind. Makes the mind calm, peaceful, and happy.
Yes, only mind. It's very good. My Sakayajit is very good. It's very good. I have happiness with my practice now.
Very good. Very good to hear that. You have any question?
No. The life, my life is okay. I am happy, but
Okay.
the practicing mind is other way to life. Ne? It's other way, not
Okay.
okay.
Meditation is the best way for life, for the mind.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Let me go to the next person. Rasana. Rasana, you're next.
Vandana Bhante. I don't have any question, but I just heard he's saying his Sakaditi is good. Sakaditi means ego and letting go. How does you say that your Sakaditi is good?
Maybe his understanding of Sakaditi is good. I give him the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Bhante.
It means he understands what Sakaditi is.
Okay, because he must be thinking concentration, is it? Mindfulness.
No, he was talking about wisdom. If he's talking about Sakaditi.
Oh, okay. Sakaditi, yeah.
Yeah. Understanding that the body is not yourself. You are the mind. And the body is something else. The body is just the four elements. Where are you from? Is this your first time here?
I am from Nepal, but I'm
Nepal.
residing in UK.
Where in the UK?
Kent.
In Kent.
Yes.
In
I'm
the
NHS consultant in Ops and Gynae.
Can you say
I'm a
again?
doctor.
Are you a
I'm a
doctor? And in Kent, England?
Yes. Yeah.
I see, okay.
But
your
originally
first-
from Nepal. Yeah.
I see. And this is your first time to join our meeting?
No, I've been listening to you very regularly. My husband and me, we both listen to you. In the Facebook, after this finishes, we listen to your talk and your question and answers and the Zoom.
I
Today,
see.
luckily, I got into live, so I was very happy.
Okay, very happy to meet you.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I
question?
go very regularly in Amravati Buddhist Monastery here in UK.
I see. That's where
With
Ajahn
Ajahn
Sumedho used to live,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is the abbot now at Amaravati?
Ajahn Amaro.
Ajahn Amaro.
Yes.
You go there for meditation practice or just
Yes,
for
we do
dana?
have a very retreat. Now everything is online, Bhante, because of the
Of
COVID.
the COVID, yeah.
Yeah.
But you're opening up pretty soon now, I heard. July, June.
We have not opened to everybody as yet because of COVID.
I see.
Slowly, UK is the rate of infection is low. So
Yes.
maybe it might slowly increase now.
Yes. Okay, good for you.
But in Nepal, it's increasing. Bhante, please pray
I
for
know.
my country people there in Nepal.
Yeah, I pray for
Very bad.
everybody. In Thailand, we also have the same problem right now.
Lots of people dying a lot in Nepal because it is not like in India.
Mhm. But maybe with the vaccine coming, things might be better.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been vaccinated both because we are a frontliner in
Yes.
NHS. So we have got vaccinated quite some time ago, both doses.
Yeah, good for you.
Thank you.
All right.
Bante, please stay safe.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
thank you. Ben, sure, you're next. You have any question, Ben?
Hello, Bante. Good evening, Bante.
Good evening to you from Malaysia.
Yeah, from Malaysia. You still remember me, right?
Well, it doesn't matter. I remember you or not. I recognize you. Let's put it that way. You are a human being talking to me. That's good enough for me.
Okay. Yeah, Ajahn, I want to ask you a question regarding, because now I'm in the retreat, I just remind myself to do three things. One is Buddha all day long. Second is I keep my mind inside my body. Third thing is I keep a single-minded. So when I have a lunch or meal for eating, so it's too many objects. So how to do properly in my practice?
Concentrate on what you do. If you're eating, concentrate on eating. First,
So
primarily.
is
Just
it need
watch
to
your-
maintain a single-minded?
Before you eat, you contemplate the reason for eating, and not for enjoyment, not for pleasure, but for the maintenance of the body. So it doesn't matter what kind of food you eat. It doesn't have to give you pleasure or enjoyment.
Okay.
And then when you eat, just keep watching your every step of eating, from taking the food into the mouth, chewing, and then swallowing the food into your body. Just keep doing this, but you don't have to worry about other things when you're eating. Just worry about eating alone. Don't let your mind go think about other things.
So the eyes don't try to don't see outside, right?
Just watch what you do and disregard everything around you.
Okay.
To give you focus, to keep you concentrated. So when you meditate, you can then meditate, you can become calm very quickly if your mind is focused and concentrated.
Yeah, tomorrow I try to fasting. Tomorrow is my first day to fasting, and I try some new experience.
Yes, when you fast, you have to practice. You cannot just do other things. You should just devote your time for the practice of mindfulness and meditation.
Is this including reading also, or better don't reading, just focusing on the meditation?
Yeah, better not reading or anything. Just keep on focusing on mindfulness and meditation.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you,
Okay.
Ajahn.
Good night to you.
Good night to you.
Anybody else? No more question.
Last question from Facebook.
Okay, one more question from Facebook.
Last question from Setviala Suki Hontu Ajahn. I'm from Indonesia. I start the meditation by repeating mantra, may I be happy, for around 10 minutes, and then change to anapanasati. Is this the correct way for metta meditation? And do I have to select one object of the same gender to give my metta? Thank you, Ajahn.
Actually, when you do metta, it's more for the purpose of getting rid of your anger at someone. When you're angry at someone, then you should use metta to forgive the person who makes you angry. Then your anger will then be eliminated. Then you can then come back and focus on your breath. But if you have no anger toward anybody, you don't need to do any metta at all. Just go ahead and concentrate on your breath if you can. All right? I think maybe that's about all for tonight. Since everybody has asked questions and no one else would have any more questions. So I would like to thank you for your participation. I hope this meeting has helped you in your practice and advanced you forward closer toward enlightenment, toward liberation from dukkha. In the meantime, stay safe, stay mindful, and keep on practicing. See you next time, next week. Goodbye for now. Goodbye.
Thank you ท่านอาจารย์
Thank you ท่านอาจารย์
Thank you,
Thank you, admin.
Thank you, admin.
Bye bye, everybody.
Bye bye
everyone. Thank you, admin. Bye.
Bye.